3 thin slices of Pullman rye bread about a 1/4 inch thick. The first slice topped with juicy turkey breast, another with roast beef. Covered with handfuls of dry coleslaw, no mayo, brined for 3 days. Secret creamy Russian dressing lathered generously on top. Finished with 3 slices of Swiss cheese before they're stacked and cut into 8 perfect squares. It's this not-so-typical combo that made the New Jersey Sloppy Joe a legend. In most parts of the country, a Sloppy Joe means ground beef or some mystery meat with tomato sauce or ketchup served on a hamburger bun.
Oh yes, of course. The big, gooey, messy burger.
Also known as a Sloppy Joe.
Sloppy Joe, right.
But in northern New Jersey, it's something else entirely.
Are people ever going to order a Sloppy Joe and are
Yeah,
confused?
they think they're getting chopped meat on a bun for sure. They have
Do you
no
tell
clue.
them?
So
Like-
you can kind of tell right away who knows and who doesn't know. The people that don't know, they'll say, make sure it's not too hot, and then you'll know right away it's a cold sandwich.
What do you mean? Sloppy Joes are a part of our DNA. What do you mean? It's New Jersey. This is what a real Sloppy Joe is.
Behind the counter, it starts with Pullman rye bread, which is rye bread made in a white bread mold, making it square instead of round.
We slice it horizontally, so we get a long slice as opposed to a short little round slice, and it comes out just
Oh my
like
God.
that.
Yeah.
So we use 3 slices of this rye bread,
So thin.
paper thin.
Is there
And
a
the
reason
good
that
stuff.
you don't cut and you choose to slice it on this?
The only way to get it perfectly straight is to use a slicer.
Okay.
Whereas most bakeries just use rye flavoring, Town Hall Deli gets bread from a bakery that uses actual caraway seeds in the dough mixture, giving it a more authentic and natural flavor.
And if you look at it, you can tell that this bread's a little more gray than other breads, and that's from the actual pieces of caraway seeds
That's
in
how you know
it.
it's
Yeah,
good.
and that's how you know it's the
Really
good
cool.
stuff.
The original recipe was made with sliced cow tongue, which you can still order today. But the most popular combo at Town Hall Deli now is called the Favorite, made with roast beef and turkey. They slice 1/3 of a pound of each meat before they're placed onto slices of rye bread,
The next layer is our dry coleslaw.
Dry.
also known as coleslaw minus the mayo. After they cut the cabbage, they brine it for 3 days, then drain it 3 times to make sure all of the liquid is squeezed out and won't make the sandwich soggy. The most beloved ingredient is by far the deli's signature Russian dressing.
It's very secret, and we make it in-house, and that's all I'm going to
That's
tell you.
all you can say. This
That's
has mayo,
all I
though.
can say. This
has
is
to have
mayonnaise-based,
mayo.
and we make this mayo
Me too.
in-house.
The Russian dressing is a combination of mayo, ketchup, and vinegar based on traditional recipes.
Then our 3 pieces of Swiss.
And finally, a light spread of butter across the 3rd slice, because
One, it gives it a little flavor, because who doesn't like butter? Second, it helps it stick to this piece of cheese, so when we cut it, it won't move back and forth. And it also creates a barrier between the bread and the cheese and the Russian dressing to make sure that the bread doesn't get soggy.
Wow. All right, let's just go for it. There is no tongue on this sandwich either. Not like the original. A little sloppy. It's a little sloppy. The Russian dressing stands out above everything. That is incredibly creamy. Incredibly creamy. It's really, 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 really good. It's got a sweet tanginess to it. And the butter. That was an interesting thing that we learned. That they put the butter on the top so it doesn't get as soggy, and I wouldn't say it got soggy at all, honestly. And like I said, it's kind of like a club because it's stacked in the way that it is, but there's no bacon or anything like greasy or heavy like that. It's fresh and it's light. So it is very opposite of what other people may think of when they think of a Sloppy Joe.
It's very complex. It has a number of different flavors. You have the savory aspect, the sweet aspect to it. It's crunchy, it's soft, it has everything that you really would want in a sandwich.
Personally, I'm kind of, insulted when people say Sloppy Joes are the mystery meat sandwiches. I mean, my mom's from New York City, so when she met my dad and my grandmother was going to have Sloppy Joes at a dinner one night, when she showed up for the first time and it was this, she fell in love with him and the sandwich.
Town Hall Deli says it was the first place to serve the sandwich in New Jersey in 1935, but it doesn't take credit for creating it.
There's a bar in Havana called Sloppy Joe's Bar and Grill.
And it's still there?
It's still there.
Oh my
It's
God.
opened and closed a few times. They don't make this sandwich anymore. But at the time in the 30s, the mayor of Maplewood ate this sandwich, or a sandwich similar to this, and he loved it. So he came back and he asked the guys here to recreate it, and they did.
Some even say it's the best sandwich you'll find in the Garden State.
I have had Sloppy Joes from other around New Jersey, and this is the best in town.
There's delis all over the place that do Sloppy Joes. but it ain't town hall.